richness of our liturgy and our prayer book is so often lost in the struggle to read the Hebrew and keep up with what's going on in the sanctuary. So I decided for the next few weeks that I wanted to share with you some of that richness, some of the beauty of our prayer book. And I want to focus on a section called Shema Uvirchoteha, the Shema and her blessings. There's a simple formula to remember how this structure fits into the prayer book. And the formula is little b, big B, little b. Little b stands for blessing, big B stands for Bible. Whenever you have a piece of Bible, it's always surrounded by a blessing on both sides. So think of the Torah reading, for example. Before we read Torah, we say a bracha, a blessing, and after we read Torah, we say a blessing. Same thing is true for Haftarah. Before we chant the Haftarah, we have a blessing, and after we have a blessing. Well, the same is true in our prayer book. And the Shema is from the Bible. It's from the Torah, from the book of Deuteronomy. And so before it, we have a blessing. We actually get two blessings. And after it, we have a blessing. And I want to look with you today at that first blessing. It's called the Yotzer Or in the morning. At night, it's called Ma'ariv Aravim. And what's interesting about this bracha is that it's the first of three blessings in this unit that teaches three main themes or ideas of our liturgy and what our liturgy is trying to teach us. Those three main themes are creation, revelation, and redemption. Now, what's tricky about these three is that none of us were here for creation. None of us remember Mount Sinai when God revealed God's self to us, and the redemption that the Siddur wants us to think about hasn't come yet. So how are we supposed to relate to these three ideas? Well, these brachot, before and after the Shema, help us to understand and appreciate these ideas of creation, revelation, and redemption. So the first one is creation. And the bracha begins, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim. Praised are you, Adonai, our God, who through whose word has brought on the evening. Bechochma potech sha'arim, with wisdom you open the gates of dawn, and you regulate time and seasons with your understanding. And the bracha ends for the evening, Baruch atah Adonai ha'ma'ariv aravim. Praised are you, Adonai, who brings the evening dusk. And if we jump to the morning tefillah, that same bracha that comes right before the Shema, you'll see a similar theme, but of course for the daytime. And so the bracha begins, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam yotzer or uvarei choshech, who forms light uvarei choshech and creates darkness, oseh shalom uvarei takol, who makes peace and creates all things. When we wake up in the morning or when we go to sleep at night, when we see the sun rising, when we see the moon setting, when we see the moon coming out, these are the things that are supposed to remind us of what creation was. And in fact, what our liturgy is telling us is that we were there for creation. We are there for creation. It's happening right now. When the sun rises, that's creation. When the moon comes out, that's creation. When the dawn comes or the dusk settles, that is creation. And by saying this bracha, even though we may not have been there for the actual creation, we are here for this actual creation. Our liturgy provides us the opportunity to grasp hold of this idea of creation, this amazing moment that isn't in history, but is right now. Our prayer book and these tefillot, the Yotzer Or and the Ma'ariv Aravim, that first little b before the Shema, remind us that every moment that we look at our world is a moment of creation. Next week, we'll look at that second little b, the Ahava Rabbah, before the Shema, and then move forward from there. Until next time.
Adonai Tsevaot Shemo.